Hello, and welcome to our latest episode of Relatable Catholic.
Welcome. We're so glad you're here.
Hello, everyone.
Here we are.
We're all a little sleep deprived today
Yes.
because we had my first Magic of Children.
Magic of
Was
children.
it magical?
It was great.
There's this crazy guy wearing this hat on his head, bartending.
I think the problem was the hat was a little small for your head.
Maybe that was a problem. The hat was given to me. It wasn't purchased for my head.
So just to back it up, we had a fundraiser for our school called Magic of Children last night, and it was a Roaring 20s theme.
Yeah.
People dressed up. And I kept not being able to take Father serious because he had a hat on, and then look at myself. I've got a big old feather sticking out of my head.
Yeah.
And I didn't think far enough in advance to do anything, so I just
We
went
did
on a regular
talk. I
outfit.
wonder what Amazon thinks of Bellevue, Iowa's uptick in
flapper
dresses.
and fake mustaches and those grandpa's cute hat,
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Suspenders. It was cool. But
Yeah,
so tonight, once a year, it's a fundraiser to raise money for our school. And it was good.
yeah. Father had a very important role.
I served old fashions. Oh, wait. Before that, my prayer.
Oh, no, I was talking about the old fashions. Your prayer was nothing to write home about.
It was effective.
I mean, the thing is, nobody wants to hear a long, drawn-out prayer.
Yeah.
You know?
Just a regular old bless us, O
Just
Lord.
let's bless us, O Lord, and get going with the evening, you know? So that's
The person I was standing next to, though, they were like, well, I really didn't think very hard about that one.
You know what?
Maybe it was me who said that. I don't know. But I don't think it was.
I said that to myself. Yeah. I've been in situations at fundraisers where priests go on and on and on.
Yeah.
And I just don't know that that's appropriate.
You let the
Yeah.
Holy Spirit guide you, and
I mean,
yeah, that was the most fitting.
you know,
I think it was good.
Yeah.
thanks.
I wasn't there for it, but I bet it was
Bless us.
great.
Bless us.
It was
Could've made it
awesome.
there,
Yeah,
yeah.
you've
These,
probably said it
yes.
before.
Familiar with that one. Okay, now tell us about your
After that.
other big job.
Oh, so I was a guest bartender at the old fashioned bar.
So was the old fashioned bar, was that because you make good old fashions? Or
Or
was
I
it
think that-
always going to be that?
I think that I think it goes with the theme, the 1920s theme. I do like old fashions, but when I got asked to do that, that wasn't why I was asked. I was just asked to be like a guest.
They didn't know you had a secret skill set.
Correct.
But was it your recipe?
Yeah, it was my recipe in a sense of I've
Your name was on the
tried.
top of the sheet.
Well, I printed that sheet
It
off.
looked
but
like, a secret recipe, but you kind of printed it in size 24 font.
I
And
want people to be able to see it from way back in line. I didn't know if we'd have line 10 people deep,
yeah.
and you could be deciding: do I want the regular one? Do I
so
want
it's not a
flowers?
secret.
It's not a secret. I've tried lots of different old fashions. This just seems to be one that I really like, and it's called the maple. It uses maple syrup, and it uses black walnut bitters. That's about and a special I like to use the darker Luxardo cherries.
Bougie.
Super bougie.
Special.
Well, I heard one person say it wasn't the worst old fashioned they've ever had.
That's a compliment.
Yeah,
I'll take
I'd
it.
say that's a win. I'm not an old fashioned person, but I tried a sip of. Oh, my neighbor fizzles. I tried a sip of fizzles, and it was actually very good.
Thanks.
Pretty
Appreciate
good.
it.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, that's fun to do that kind of stuff. I learned how to bartend actually in seminary.
Oh,
So-
naturally.
They have a
Yeah,
class for that.
No, I'm underlying it was just kind of a thing where the Dubuque guys were kind of set to do the bartending. Before I even got there, they were like, "This is what we do. We bartend," And so when I got there, my first year, because it's 4 years, they're like, "Okay, you want to bartend, you Paul?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'm in." Not really having done it, but I was like, I can figure this out, and it's actually really enjoyable.
Was it bartending at an event or?
Yeah. So
Oh,
bartending,
okay.
big events like this.
Class.
You got a
No.
job at Paul's
It
Tavern?
was only
or-
only twice a year, like for the big events that they would have on campus. So
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So that's
So
what we
you're
do.
an old pro.
That's where I learned.
Well, next year I'd appreciate like a Shirley Temple section or something.
Ooh, a little Shirley Temple station.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Tom Collins. I can't think of it.
We're very sophisticated.
Yeah. Who's Tom?
Tom who?
So,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, I wasn't.
I was going to say we got a lot of feedback last night.
We
The
did.
podcast. And I will admit that was our targeted audience all in one gymnasium, so that probably helped. But sweet Emily Rolling, she gets a shout out. She was willing. She thought we could put it on the auction. People would like to hear a shout out. So Emily, here, this one's for you.
I heard that we're getting invited to their tailgate.
Oh,
that they
sweet.
won. Yeah.
Oh,
So.
Nice.
Yeah.
did you just make that up right now?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Well, we can't wait.
Yes, I did.
It was fun. It was fun hearing everyone's feedback. And I'm always like embarrassed. Not embarrassed, just humbled. I don't know. What's the right word? Or describe my feeling. I'm always shocked people are listening. In a nice way, though. I mean that in a nice way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's.
Oh, you're so kind. Everyone's so kind.
I still haven't come up with a good response either. I always say we're having a lot of fun. I don't know what else to say. We are having a lot
We
of
do
fun.
have a lot of fun. And it's really fun to hear like people
Yeah.
talk about it or bring it up or
Yeah.
ask questions.
Yeah.
It's just like a
A
surreal
lot of people have
feeling.
been asking about the progress of my bathroom.
Oh.
And I just keep telling them, stop asking me. You've got to find my
Start
dad.
asking my dad. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it was a good time. There's a nice crowd. There's live music this year. That was fun.
Oh, there was.
That was new.
Yeah,
every-
I don't think there was ever live music.
Oh,
Was there?
I left before the live music started.
Well, and if you were doing live music last year, listener, I am sorry, I don't remember that. I don't think there was though.
Yeah.
This is my first one, so
First
to
one.
me, this was like the standard, right? It was.
Yeah. Well, and it's been like kind of in transition from COVID. So during COVID,
Sure.
it went all online, and Mr. Kaiser would just speak to the TV for 8 hours, and that was really fun. I really
pretty
liked
fun,
that
yeah.
actually too. So, and I think in the past couple of years they've done like a blend of that, and then I think this is the first year it was like
yeah.
back to
all the way back.
like kind of normal.
Cool.
Yeah.
So.
I'm glad I caught the all the way back one version. Yeah, That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. It's a good time. So, you know, I think you were kind of upset that I wanted to wait till after
Yeah.
the
Oh,
event.
to
Magic of
record
Children.
this, 'cause-
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, I just want to wait. Let's just do it after, because I had a revelation of what it is. So it's good to have that shared experience because it's relatable, right? Mm-hmm. We're like, that's what we do, relatable Catholic, right? But like
Yeah.
having the shared experience with all of us, with a lot of our, listeners, we can all like picture these different things.
Yeah.
The shared experience is what. So I'm always kind of like let's wait until the closest we can to record, closest to Wednesday as possible, because we might have a shared experience before then that is, that we're talking
Yeah.
about. But that was
So you're
kinda
not a
Yeah.
procrastinator. This
That's,
is
I
very
think that's how he
intentional.
talked himself into.
I'm
He's not a procrastinator.
Very
I'm a
intentional.
little
And
procrastinator,
you
but-
are very busy, so
Yeah.
But I think there's those opportunities for shared experiences and have the shared experiences, the mass and the different, all sorts of things.
Did you get to meet any new people, or do you know a lot of the
Oh.
people there?
He
You
probably
know,
did.
I did get to meet some new people, but I actually was kind of
And
disappointed.
he's sorry when he doesn't remember anyway the next time because it's a terrible memory.
Well, there's
Yeah,
one
this is
father
more-
to 3,000 people, parishioners. So
Doesn't make it a little more challenging, but being at the old fashioned bar, I didn't move very much from that spot, and I really didn't get around to the rest of the room.
you
Like
get
I
to
probably
work the
should have.
room as much as you would have liked.
Yeah. So if people wanted old fashions, I got to talk to those people quite a bit. But if not, I didn't. And that was on
You were
me.
busy.
It's partly on. I mean, because I had time after that, but I ended up just kind of staying in that general vicinity
Your
and
station.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of people wanted old fashions.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean,
Very popular.
Very popular booth there.
Popular bartender.
Bush Light old fashions.
You know, there were several people though that were upset that you did not have your party priest shirt on.
Several people mean
Honestly, no, for
you,
real.
your
No, I did hear it
dad.
from somebody else.
Like, I'd say half a dozen people, and not even fibbing.
half a dozen. I heard it from one person.
I think I heard it from like 6 people.
The thing was, though, like, I just didn't think it'd go with the 1920s theme. Hawaiian shirts, 1920s.
Yeah, yours is so tastefully done though, black on black. I was like,
Maybe that was the original Hawaiian shirt
Yes,
in the 1920s.
yes.
Yep.
Maybe.
They hadn't even discovered Hawaii yet.
I was going to say, did we... Do we even have Hawaii in 1920? I don't know.
I don't know.
yeah, it was a good night. It was fun to talk to people, which usually I get a little nervous to talk to people. But
Yeah, you said that right away.
yeah,
That you're like,
but then it all works out.
Yeah. And I like to have a job, so
And Katie had a job.
I can
Yep.
do something and not have to try and talk to people.
In the most loving way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's this next week look like for everyone? Kind of more normal with our missions over.
yeah, more normal week. But then it gets right into Holy Week, too. So this coming Sunday is Palm Sunday, and then Holy Week is here, and that's going to be all sorts of fun, too.
What do we do with our palms when they ran their course?
So
Because I've been doing something, and I wonder if it's illegal.
Illegal.
the best thing to do is to burn them, not throw them in the trash.
I don't throw them in the trash.
Okay. If you put them out in your lawn, what do you do with them? What's your...
I set them outside so a bird can get them and put it in their nest and have
Oh.
a holy home.
A holy home?
A holy home.
When
a
they're
great
done.
idea.
First, we like make those shape things. I don't know.
Sure.
you
I
know,
always just
the
keep them on there.
accordion things, and
until-
then we keep them there. But then sometimes they run their course.
Uh-huh.
So what's that
Is that
going
what
to
the
get
birds
me?
do? Did the birds actually take them?
I bet so.
Okay, well,
Someone does.
I don't think there's any problem with that. So what we usually do is I mean, this is my first year here, but at Nativity we would put like baskets or boxes out, say bring your palms in.
Your old
and then
palms.
Your old
Oh,
palms.
that's nice.
And then we'll burn them.
Yeah.
What you're supposed to do, you're supposed to burn the old palms
Make
for
ashes.
ashes for Ash Wednesday.
Yeah, we talked about this. The ash quality isn't.
Not there.
Yeah.
We did talk about this?
Yeah.
Bad memory. So the ash quality is not there. So I will not be doing that. But I will burn them if people bring them in.
Yeah,
I'll burn
we
them.
usually start Easter Vigil with a fire. So I assume that it's the palms.
It's
maybe it's
not
not.
actually the
Oh,
palms.
look at that.
We would usually use the oil from last year. So that's one thing that will happen.
Oh.
Yeah, so one thing in this upcoming week, we have what's called a chrism mass.
Mm-hmm.
Chrism meaning oil. And it's at the cathedral. All the priests go. We renew our priestly promises at that mass. And then the Archbishop blesses the new oil for the year, which means that we've got all this new oil. So we take the old oil and we put it in this fire and makes a nice big fire. So we soak the logs or whatever, you know. So we've got some, I think we have someone.
So you
already
can't- The oil has shelf life.
The oil doesn't necessarily have a shelf life, except that we just make new stuff every year. It's just, it might, but I don't know.
I would
that
like to get
necessarily.
some of that oil that you do at baptism, and then their forehead smells so good. I'd like some of that for
What would
myself.
you do with it?
What?
What would you do with the old chrism oil?
I don't have any. I would like some. I'm saying because it smells so good.
Right.
So
You
you're
should
saying,
sell
what would
that.
you do with it? Just like put it on your body
I
or
would
what?
Sniff it, I guess.
You pour some in this candle.
I
That,
bet they make a Christmas
know-
smelling
What they
candle.
do.
I did get a few people wondering. Well, someone I can't remember who, but someone also like a video set up a video feed of our podcast so they can see just exactly what you're putting in these candles.
Yeah, that's.
I think you guys would be sorely disappointed if you had a
That's
video.
way too big. He is trying to put a straw wrapper in there. That
I
would
was joking
start a
about
fire.
that. I would not do that. That's too much. We do have a fire.
Oh, Angie's got the fire extinguisher out. I laughed really hard
When it didn't make
you
it
were like,
noise at
"That's
all."
gonna blow their ears out." And it was like
Last week she did this, and I thought it was gonna
Yeah, it's
like
like,
blow these
Yeah.
pods
No.
right out of people's ears, but
No, it was like
it
the
didn't.
tiniest little.
That's why I can do it so freely now. I know it's not hurting anybody.
So we do have the fire extinguisher if we need it.
Yep.
Yeah, I keep hearing from people. I heard it about 4 times last week that people want the episodes to be longer.
Oh my God, no
Really?
one's ever told me that.
I heard that a lot.
I have heard,
Or,
how
like,
do you guys
more
keep
frequently.
talking for so long? It's like, oh, I'm a dum-dum, and they let me ask whatever I want, so I got a lot of questions.
Oh, I was watching a video on the corporal works of mercy, and what is it, like counsel the ignorant or something?
Why are you both looking at me? I feel attacked.
None of us did. Neither of us did.
No, I looked
I'm part of the ignorant. So
I looked out the window to see if Renee was out there.
I think we need to have a
Retract.
little
Yeah, I
clarification.
think Father needs to confess
Last
something.
week, Father shared that Renee was in the window while we were recording. Katie even clarified, like, she was in the window or walking past. And I think Father, he might have said she was in the window with her
Which-
face pressed up, the glass fogging. And I've gotten some intel that might not have been the case.
I can't believe I said that, but again, short memory. So maybe I did say she was right pressed up against the glass. She walked by, she saw us, she backed up, she waved, but she was all on the sidewalk this whole time.
She
never left the
told me
sidewalk.
last night. She never left the sidewalk.
Yeah, so sorry, listeners, if that was misleading. I did not mean to mislead anyone. It was, just I saw her in the window. So to me, she was in the window. To other people, that means something else. That she was.
You didn't know that was going to be such a statement.
No, I did not. I did not. My bad.
yeah.
Okay, so we've got Holy Week coming up. You got your renewals.
Got my renewals of the Chrism Mass. And we'll get into the, Spy Wednesday, Holy Thursday,
What'd you say about Wednesday?
Spy
Spy
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
What's
Have you
that?
ever heard of Spy Wednesday? It's kind of like,
Spy Kids.
well, so like Judas, like he like goes to, he's kind of a spy. Like he's he's the bad egg, and he goes to the rulers and says, "What do you give me if I hand him over to you?" And they say, 30 silver coins or whatever. And yeah,
Has it always been called Spy Wednesday?
no, it's just kind of
That's like a
it's just kind
fun
of
way
like
to
a
say it.
recent, I
fun
think.
fun nickname for
That's
it.
when I heard it recently.
Yeah, I don't know how long it's been. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I'll look it up.
Okay, so Spy Wednesday.
Yeah, Palm Sunday. So you
Wait,
can
Palm Sunday. Then
Palm
Spy
Sunday's first.
Wednesday.
Yep. So you can tickle the person in front of you.
Oh, and usually it's my Aunt Sue. And I'll give the girls, do not mess around with you. I give the big talk. And then I just can't help myself with Sue sitting right there. I got to like get it with my palm just once.
There's always a couple people hitting each other with their palms.
I don't miss that. I don't have that problem anymore. Deacon doesn't usually hit me with his. So.
Well,
You're
Deacon
safe.
Lars, if you're listening, good whack to the head might do him some good.
Okay.
So
Palm Sunday.
Palm Sunday,
Spy Wednesday.
Yeah,
Holy Thursday.
but we can talk about Holy Thursday.
Holy Thursday.
Good
What's
Friday.
The specialty on Holy
Specialty.
Thursday?
Oh, the Mass of Last Supper.
Whose
and
feet are you gonna wash? Are you?
Oh, the feet washing.
Yeah.
It's on Thursday.
or
Got
do you
it.
not
It's
do
like-
that?
No, I do. I think that usually it's really
She stuck her foot in his face.
Got very long legs.
I'm not a Bigfoot guy. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
Father Gross kissed their feet too.
Oh, you're not gonna catch me doing that. I'm sorry.
You would
God
if it was
bless.
an emergency. You would.
You kiss someone.
It's an emergency. Kiss our feet.
I would if it was like. Did we mention we're overtired? What I'm saying is, you would if you. I think you would. If you had to, you would.
If I had to,
If
but
it
what
was Jesus, you would. And
circumstance?
technically, we all
We
have
are
Jesus,
Jesus,
living
so-
inside of us. So.
Fuck her up.
I think I'm gonna have to grow in holiness a little bit more before
You
I'm
got a couple
gotta
weeks.
grow to be more like Jesus before I'm gonna be kissing people's feet.
Okay.
So
Are you gonna be washing feet, or is someone gonna be washing feet?
I think I'll be washing feet. It is
And you don't like feet. That makes
know.
it cooler
yeah.
for everyone else.
I guess I don't.
I suggest don't asking any cousins because we've got real bad feet.
Have you ever washed anybody's feet before? Have you had your own feet washed?
No, I don't think I care for
this-
that.
I don't think so.
I've had my feet washed as a.
Oh yeah, I got in a
before I was a
pedicure a few
priest.
times.
See, like
That was a joke.
what was it?
Pedicure, like in a salon.
Yeah, I mean, I know what it is, but I was like,
Technically, you did get your feet washed.
You didn't specify.
Lisa-
I've never gotten my feet washed in church.
okay, I have before, and I was like, it's kind of, I don't know, it's fine. It's cool. I think it's actually like I remember when I got my feet washed, I was like, this is pretty impressive that this priest would wash my feet.
Yeah.
You know, like this is an act of service or an act of love, like for someone, especially, and it would have been even a more,
Humility.
a more humbling
Yeah.
thing back in that day when people like generally
Had very
walked
dirty
just
feet.
yeah, they walked on dirt roads all over the place, you know, and those roads were shared by animals. And
How did this become?
Jesus did
Jesus
it?
did it to the disciples.
He did it, at the Last Supper, and so
To
now
speak
it's.
kind?
Just
I
or to
think there's a whole thing
show?
that humility thing of like he didn't want his followers to be like this high and mighty ruling class like that, like we expect, you know, like you to serve us like kings, because the Pharisees they kind of acted like little
Jerks.
kings. And Jesus didn't want that. He wanted his disciples to be servants and really do that, and washing someone's feet definitely is a service act that shows that. So yeah, I think that's the basis.
So in Mass on Thursday, do you have it like pre-selected? Must.
Yes,
Yeah.
usually it's pre-selected, and oftentimes it's the OCIA candidates.
Oh, cool.
So that's my guess.
And that-
is
what's
that.
An OCI. What's that?
So it used to be
abbreviation for?
RCIA.
Yep.
And so that was just Rite of Christian Initiation of Adults. They changed this word rite. They kind of stopped using it. Now it's called Order of Christian Initiation of Adults. So RCIA this last year changed to OCIA, and it's just Christian. Just like when someone wants to come into the church, either through baptism or confirmation, they have to go through this process, these classes, and
As adults.
As
Is there a
adults.
certain age?
7
Oh.
is kind of the age. We that's why we do First Communion at 7, is because it's the age of reason. And then there's this kind of weird kind of time frame, like, I don't know, 7 to 14 is like, then you have this rite of Christian initiation for children. So there's separate things, and we've got at least one of those, one of Katie's students, and
that's so exciting.
and then I think 5 baptisms, 2 children, Katie's student, and then 2 adults.
Does that make your heart so happy?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good thing to be able to bring people in the church to baptize. You know, all those things are very joyful. So we're actually having a party afterwards.
Oh, I know just the shirt you could wear.
Are you going to be there at the party at 11 p.m. on?
Oh, yeah, I will
Holy
not
Saturday?
be.
Okay.
We'll be in Algonquin.
Oh.
But my cousin, right?
Yeah.
Andrew.
Yep.
Yeah. My cousin-in-law will be
Andrew.
there.
Future cousin-in-law. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so excited for them.
One of the confirmande. Is that right?
So tell me about this big party afterwards.
we're just gonna celebrate Jesus rising from the dead and celebrate all these people
At
coming
11
into.
p.m.
Yeah, I mean that's when mass will get over, probably 10.
It's gonna be a 3-hour mass.
We don't
Saturday night. Okay.
know. Yeah.
And then you
Well-
had to do an Easter mass too.
Yep. 3 of them.
Yeah, you're gonna be a busy guy.
It's gonna be.
You have to rest up this week to prepare for.
The next week.
That would be.
Is
Smart.
that kind of like what priests do, like to prepare? Because this is
Well,
like the.
I know this priest, and I can guarantee he's not resting. I like to call you a fart in a skillet.
Wow.
That's
Wow,
a
this
compliment,
is,
I think.
Is it?
Like a fart in a skillet, like just like. Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah.
I think that's a
one
compliment.
Flying over everywhere.
I wish I was one. I do. It means like you're a hard worker and always active and can't sit still. I can sit still pretty good.
I come by that naturally. That's a result of my upbringing. My parents are just always going, yeah. So don't know how to really. I'm better at, I think, than my dad. Actually, my dad called me a day. He's like, I put on 1,000 miles both the last 2 weeks, and I just feel like I should do nothing. And I'm like, that's a good idea. He's like, I don't know how to do nothing. And I'm like, yeah, that's true too. So
Get a good recliner. Start with that.
oh, he's got a great recliner. He's got the best one.
Is this like the World Series of the year?
Yes, absolutely it is.
The
It's-
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl of the year.
Yeah. It's the biggest week of the year. So whatever sports
So
analogy you want to use.
Are your priest friends like? Is everyone like giddy?
I think a little bit. I think
Like
but I
little
think,
kids on Christmas morning? Are you like that?
Well, it's probably a lot of work.
kind of it's a lot of work.
Are you
And
nervous?
I get nervous about it. Like, how's this all gonna go? And are we gonna do all the steps right? And all this is the sequence gonna go right? Because it's such a different liturgy. It only happens one time a year. The Easter Vigil is what I'm
Yeah.
referring to, and actually Holy Thursday and Good Friday. I mean, just the whole thing. That Triduum, those 3 masses or 3 services, because technically one mass. Yeah, so I'm like, am I going to do this correctly? You know, so I get kind of nervous, like going through all the steps, kind of rehearsing that, looking at like the different sequence of it all. So yeah, it'll be fine, you know, but I do get a little nervous. And then really after Easter, that's when the celebration begins. You know, like
Yeah.
we made it. We made it through, got all this work done, and now it's time to just enjoy it and celebrate. And yeah, so that's what I'm looking forward to is after Easter. It's like so much goes into it, and then you're like, you can kind of come down, and then
Like planning a wedding, maybe.
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
a lot of work, and you're anxious, and is it going to go all right? And then it'll go great. It's a great celebration, and then
yeah,
you can just be happy after.
then, yeah,
Yeah.
enjoy it. Mm-hmm. Good question.
So this past week, the OCIA readings were one of my favorite scriptures of Lazarus. Probably because it's a fun fact that it has the shortest verse in the gospel
I
in the
I
Bible.
picked that up.
Did you?
Yeah, Jesus, and he wept or something,
And
right?
Jesus wept,
And
yeah.
Jesus wept. I only remember that because I can't remember anything. And my friend Kelsey Kaiser is like, well, here's one that you can remember. So when you said that, it was like, I know that one. Oh.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I was thinking, like, when I was listening intently, just about, like, the belief in the resurrection, and that kind of got me thinking about the belief in the Eucharist, too, which I know we've been talking about a lot about, too, like, Jesus, I believe, help my unbelief. And just, I guess, how... Because even Mary and Martha, like, you could tell, like, they believed, but yet they were still like, but, you know, like, do we believe, you know? And I think a lot of people have that, too. Yeah, so I guess that's kind of where we're headed in a roundabout way.
Yeah, because people believe enough to be at mass. They believe to a certain extent, but there just seems like there's just this greater and greater capacity to believe that we have to keep entering into, keep trying to grow in that. And I think everything that we go through, every experience that we have spiritually, we're kind of taking it all in always, and it's always helping us. I mean, we never stand still in our spiritual life, right? We're either growing in it, or if we feel like we're stagnant, we're actually going the other way. Like we're up or down, always up or down. There's just not that plateau out there. It's growth, continual growth in belief. Even though we feel like we believe so much. I wonder if this is true with parents, or that you have a child and you love them, but you continue to love them more and more. I don't know how I can love this kid anymore when they come out of the womb. But then you're like, this kid is so funny. I just love him so much. And your capacity to grow in love. Mm-hmm. Does this happen?
Yeah, 100%.
So
I think there's appreciation with that too. You found this love that you didn't know you could even have. It's wild.
Yeah.
And even okay, so you have your first kiddo, and then we got pregnant with Olivia, and it's well, I'm not going to be able to love her as much as I love, and you do. You think your heart can't love anymore.
Yeah.
And it does.
Yeah. It's
it
this
keeps loving.
Keeps expanding, keeps growing.
Yeah.
I think that's our belief too. It's just yeah, I believe. Help my belief. There's more that I could get to somewhere. I don't know how. I don't know where. It's with that, with the Eucharist, there's that same sort of thing where they were always just kind of learning more and more little things about the Eucharist, and how it was prefigured in the Old Testament, and how Jesus kind of talked about it throughout the New Testament, how other, St. Paul talked about it, how early church fathers talked about the Eucharist, now about Eucharistic miracles. I had a funny and cool interaction this weekend. My cousin plays volleyball for Iowa State. She's a setter, Morgan Brandt, and she is dating Jim Boniface, who's a debuter, and Jim's parents were at the game was at UD. The game was there was a triangular at UD that Jim's parents were at, and they're Res parishioners, and I was at Resurrection for 1 year, my first year. And I was talking to Jim's mom, Lois, and she said, Father, I just have to tell you, when you were at Res, you said, Google Eucharistic miracles cardiac tissue. And she said, I did that, and it changed my life. That was so meaningful to me. In that, I remember the homily. It was just so meaningful to me that you said that, right? She believed in the Eucharist already to a degree, but then when she Googled that, it was that belief increased all the more, and 6-7 years later, she's telling me that. It's it's wow, that's really cool. But it's just always learning more and more about it. I brought my book on the Eucharistic miracles.
There's a ginormous book in his pocket. Oh my golly.
I've got this book by Joan Carroll Cruz called Eucharistic Miracles and Eucharistic Phenomena in the Lives of the Saints. And it just has tons of different, not tons, 44 different Eucharistic miracles throughout time, throughout the last 2,000 years. Really impressive. Really, really, there's so much.
Almost as impressive as you fit in this whole dictionary in your coat.
Yeah, and you didn't see it. That's even.
Yeah,
I saw there was something in there.
You're like, what's this gonna be?
I thought it was a gift. It wasn't.
You can keep it.
No. I have way too many books. I have a half started. This
is science stuff.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I remember the first time I saw that, the one with Pope Francis, the Eucharistic Miracle of Buenos Aires.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was we need to tell everybody.
Do you remember the one when my mom and dad were at their old house and we went and watch that video in my mom's basement for her birthday. Do you remember that about the Eucharist?
I think it was probably the same one.
Okay, and that same mass, this is weird. I was like, how do I know I'm a Catholic? It's like, is that really, like, is the Eucharist just symbolic? And then randomly, it was my mom's birthday and the aunts were over. And I don't know who brought it up, but we watched this video right after I had just had this personal thought in my head at mass. I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
that was pretty cool.
Pretty quick answered prayer.
All
huh?
right, got it. I'm a Catholic.
Got it. That's funny.
Yeah. So I remember the first time I saw that too, that it was like, wait, why aren't we like shouting this at the rooftops? Like
Yeah, seriously.
everybody has to know that this is real. And then we were listening to one at school on Friday, about, I think it was in Argentina again, the tsunami.
Yeah.
That one's super cool too, where the priest, there was like nothing he could do. So like he held up the monstrance and the wave went over them. Right? Is that how it goes? I think that's how it goes.
That's so cool.
The wave did not hurt them.
Yes.
So that was
Yeah.
That
so
was
they
the thing.
a lot of people came to believe after that too.
Yeah.
Just little signs that.
And there's always little signs. There's always just little things happening. We just have to tune into them. And the thing
For
about
like forever, 1384.
yeah, yeah. There's all sorts of them. The ones that are really cool though are those where the consecrated bread and wine turn into flesh, and then we can test them. Those are the ones that really
Yeah.
are
And
shot.
it's always the same DNA.
Always the same half strand of DNA, same blood type, AB. It's heart tissue, cardiac tissue from someone
Kinda
that's
makes
been
me
beaten.
want to weep just hearing that. That's just
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. And I didn't know about this growing up. I did not learn about it until I was probably 25 years old. And I found out, I was like, what the heck? You know, where am I? What have I been missing? I've actually been, you've got it on Santarém, Portugal right now. That's the only one I've actually seen.
In real life.
Yeah. I was like right up close to it. Like, right. Like,
And what'd you think?
it was pretty
Was it
cool.
bonkers?
That's
Yeah.
pretty bonkers. Yeah. Bonkers. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So many of them. There's so many all over the world. And God's just always given us those signs, you know, because he wants us to believe, but he doesn't want it to be in this way that like you must believe, right? He wants to like honor our free will, that we can really choose it. He stands at the door and knocks, but we don't have to open it. You know, we get to make that choice. And that's what true love is. We choose. True love isn't forced, you know? So same sort of thing. I think these are just clues for us all the time that lead us to deeper belief, lead us to deeper belief and deeper trust and deeper love, and the capacity grows and grows, and the Holy Spirit grows and grows, and all these things. One more.
Do you have a favorite miracle from that book? Or in life?
Favorite miracle in life.
Eucharistic miracle, maybe.
Um,
Surviving another episode with us too.
one I point to a lot is that Santarém one.
Oh yeah,
because
the
I've
one you
actually
saw.
seen it,
Yeah,
you know,
that'd be.
the new ones, the ones that the Buenos Aires and the Tixla, those are within the last 20, 30 years. So those are pretty cool. But then Lanciano is one that's probably the most famous. That was 8th century Italy. So there's so many.
Are these hard for like naysayers to combat?
You know, not necessarily. Like because, well, the thing is, they can always find a way. They can always say, well, how do we know that was truly from a host? Could somebody just put some flesh in there and, you know, but
How do you get some of your heart out?
how do you
That's kinda-
yeah. And like, even when they do the samples, they say, oh, it was living heart tissue. It's not just heart tissue. It's living still. Like, what? You know, that doesn't make any sense scientifically, but guess what? I believe that people can always find a way to say science can't prove or disprove God. It can't. There's things that it can't. It has no explanation for. But this is the thing. It allows our free will still. People can still be naysayers. I think that's okay. I actually I respect that. Like that's just God giving us free will. He's done it in such a way that people can naysay and that's their choice. That's okay to do that.
Was the Eucharist or learning about that, was that one of the turning points in your life when you wanted to become more involved before you were
That was like
priest? It was centered
I
around
would
the Eucharist.
say the turning point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like what what really did it for me was I believed in the Bible, and then I heard about John chapter 6. And there's a really subtle change in the Greek language. We read it in English. We would never know this, but it changes from trogo to phago or vice versa. In John 6, from John 6:53 to 54, Jesus changes the word in Greek that he's using to be stronger. So at first he's talking about like this nice play eating, and he goes to this chewing or gnawing kind of eating. So he makes his language stronger. And this is the context is he's telling them, you must eat my flesh and drink my blood. And the Jews are just freaking out. They're like, what are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
This is, and they're arguing about each other about it because like some believe and some kind of believe, and they're in these different paths and they're fighting about it. And Jesus, in the midst of that fight, says, he ups it. He ups it from trogo to phago. The Greek verb is increased in a way that it's like, you must eat my flesh and drink my blood truly. Like and they don't understand it. This is a year before he gives them the Eucharist too. So he hasn't explained how he's going to do it. He just says, you're going to have to do this kind of thing.
Would kind of, fairly enough, that would kind of sound weird.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It sounds weird. I mean, it sounds weird even today at some level. It sounds weird to us too, that we have to drink blood, like to be saved. And so when I learned about that, I learned like how, in John 6:66 was the only time that Jesus let disciples leave without, over a doctrine. So he let them go. He didn't like try to call them back. He just said, if you can't believe this right now, that's okay. Like you can go. And when I heard that, I was like, what else did I miss in the Bible? And I just really went deep dive into scripture. And I started finding other things like this, or like Marian apparitions, so many different clues to me that increased my belief. And as my belief increased, right, I was like, well, if this is true, why wouldn't I be a priest? Because we need people to do these, to help with these sacraments, right? Mm-hmm. To provide these sacraments to the people. Like I'm not married yet. I guess I just will do this kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So, that was, it was kind of, my belief increased so much because of the Eucharist, and just kept finding more and more amazing clues. And I still find more and more amazing clues and things. And recently it's been the healings that I've seen and heard. Barbara Heil, after the mission on the last night, she came over to the house. I had some more ribs there, and she's a big fan. And she's like, the coolest miracle I ever saw. I was at this, doing a talk. She's on stage doing a talk, and she starts to sing in tongues. So you've heard of praying in tongues. Mm-hmm. Well, sometimes she actually sings in tongues. I've heard this happen before, but she's singing in tongues, or she's speaking in tongues, and she doesn't know what she's saying. Obviously, when you're speaking in tongues, you don't know what you're saying. But a lady with a boy, a young son, maybe 1 or 2, 3, I'm not sure, but pretty young, because she's holding him, starts running up to the stage because, she doesn't know why, but she starts running up to the stage, and as she gets up there, he's got a club foot, and the club foot just goes pops out and heals in front of everybody. And she's like, the entire place just lost it. For like 20 minutes, they were just like praising God and just like, because everybody saw this club foot just go whoop and heal in front of all. And then finally, like after 20 minutes of just euphoria, they brought it back and said to her, like, why were you running up here? What was the deal? And she's like, you were speaking in my native language. Her tongue was her native language, and it was calling her up there. And so she went because she heard her speaking that in her own language, and she went up there, and then that happened, that healing happened to her son, and she just like, I just like, there's all these little things.
Crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
In a good way.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Now I can't probably use that in the homily sometime, but
Oh, right.
I don't think everyone listens, Father, so you can probably use it. You can probably still use
okay.
it.
All right. Maybe I will then. But yeah. So that's, I mean, that kind of stuff just helps me a little bit, right? For the day. Like, cause sometimes I just need like a little sign, just to like, keep going. Things are gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Like, just, don't worry. And I believe, help my unbelief. Every day it seems like there's that battle of like, do I believe enough to keep going today, and God meets us where we're at. So that's a really great thing.
This whole like little bit where you're talking, you just look so happy when you're speaking there. Like that was your happy place.
I love this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Eucharistic miracles, Marian apparitions, healing miracles. It's just so like, it's so powerful to me. And to Katie's point earlier, like why don't we share this with everybody? These kind of things are happening. There'd be naysayers,
Yeah.
And this is the problem, is like you something might happen to you personally, and people be quick to just say, well, is that true?
Cuckoo.
Yeah, right. And it's just like, so it requires our faith to even
Greatness.
take that step and share, where we're at, and share what we've experienced and how we've been healed in different ways. And yeah,
That's so fun.
but no, I do love these kind of things. So thanks for asking. Thanks for bringing it up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Well, I know some people have to go to soccer games.
Got a big soccer
and
match to go
Yeah.
to
Get on with
today. It's beautiful out though, so that's kind of
It is nice out. Yeah. Way better than the soccer game I attended on Friday night. My father attended.
Yeah.
Chilly.
Chilly and
rainy.
rainy.
Oh,
Yeah. But that's the way it goes. Spring is almost here. Summer will be around the corner. So looking forward to that.
oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Get you out on the river. Turn you into a river guy. Sort of a lake guy.
Convert me from a lake guy.
Convert,
to a river
yes.
guy.
Praying for conversions.
Well, you can try. I might be a naysayer, but
Well,
All right, let's
it's about
hear
that
it.
time.
can you relate?
Nice.
That was good.
Thanks.
Something needs to happen in the can aisle at a grocery store. Because you can never find just like, today I needed cream of chicken soup.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then like you accidentally grab the gluten-free one. You're like, wait, I don't want gluten-free. And then you accidentally grab the heart healthy one. You're like, oh, I don't want
risk
heart
that.
healthy. And then you accidentally grab the low sodium one. You're like, no, and it just takes so long, like, to find the actual can that you want. And that just really bothered me today.
Yeah.
Can you relate? Just really, they got to do something with that can aisle. Because it's a problem every time. Or I'll accidentally come home with like green beans with no salt added.
Oh. Dun, dun, dun.
First world problems.
Do you have any solutions in your mind?
No.
No. They should make it like those Coca-Cola freestyle
Like, it wasn't
machines
even, like-
where you pick. You
It
know?
wasn't even up in like the, you know how they have like all the soup label things?
the
No, it was at the
dispensers?
bottom without a dispenser. Only the gluten-free and fat-free ones.
Got the
that
dispenser?
Got the dispensers.
Those probably cost a little more.
Yeah.
The dispenser. All right. Can you relate?
Can you relate?
I can't relate to that. I don't go to the grocery store that
Never
much.
had any trouble in the soup aisle.
I have bought soup before, but like it's been a while, and I didn't think it was that bad of experience, but
Well, just know I sacrificed and I suffered for that meal that I made you guys today.
thank
was
you.
delicious.
I
Thank
can't
you.
wait to go back to the grocery store and the soup aisle, this can aisle.
Experience it. Think of Katie. I will think of you. I'll say a prayer for you now too.
Thanks.
I'll think of you and then I'll
Thank you.
tag on a prayer. Soup aisle. Like that's like a potential T-shirt too. I think I said my can you relate is do you have so many great ideas that you think belong on a T-shirt? I said several times last night. I don't know, phrases that were said, and I was like, we need to put that on a T-shirt. And can you relate? I have a T-shirt problem. I love
Well,
fun
I do
T-shirts.
really want merch, so
Yeah, let's do it.
Can you relate? Yeah. I've had some T-shirt ideas. I've never followed through with making one though. So
Do
I
you
guess
know-
maybe now it's time.
I carry stickers, my dad's face around. Chris and I do.
Okay.
He made like this. He makes a lot of goofy faces. That's part of the problem. He's Mr. Fun, and whenever you try and take a picture, he'll make like a goofy face. So, Chris and I ordered one time. Sticker Meal had a sale where you could get like 50 die cut stickers for $9. So they're all my dad's face, and we started putting them places around the community. In Green Bay, there's quite a few in Green Bay.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
I also have one of my friend that scored 1,000 points in high school, Demi, and so we made, and she's like embarrassed by it. She's so like humble and doesn't matter. Like she's wonderful, beautiful athlete. But I got stickers with her name, and it says 1,000 points and 0 assist. And then I put those places.
That can't
too.
be true.
It's not true,
0
but
assist.
the 1,000 points is true. The 0 assist is probably not true. But it's fun.
That's funny.
So yeah, I have an apparel / sticker problem.
Can you relate to I have so many good ideas, but just can't find the time to do them.
Yeah, that's super relatable.
It's like
It's-
these T-shirts. I want to do some YouTube stuff about like stuff we're talking about right now, like I call them clues. Clues of like
Oh,
why
yeah.
we kind of for our second grade
yeah.
retreat kind of talked about this, like clues of why we're faithful and everything. But I'm like, when am I gonna find time to do that? You know,
Yeah.
T-shirts. It's a great idea.
Yeah, you get so
Just
many
gotta,
great
like-
ideas up in your noggin. It's hard to make them all come out.
Yeah, and then eventually I just forget them.
Yes, like I
Do
can
you
really
remember?
relate
Do
on
you
this
remember
one.
your short-term memory joke?
Yeah. Be like a goldfish.
Yes.
Short-term memory goldfish.
Yeah, but he couldn't remember
The animal.
the animal.
the memory of a
last time I
goldfish.
talked to him.
I learned that on Friday night at the soccer game. Actually, that was
That's hilarious.
yeah. So, and I couldn't remember it. Like
Yeah,
when I
he's
talked
like,
to you,
wait,
like
I got a really funny joke about short-term memory loss, but I can't remember it. Well,
And there you have it. That is
There
a
you have
podcast
it.
brought to you the day after Big School
yes.
fundraiser.
Remember to support us on Patreon.
yeah, for real. Fizzle did offer to give us $10.
Oh, I want to share this too. Can you relate? And no, I cannot relate to this at all. Fizzle, my neighbor Fizz
Fizz.
works at Tills. Fizz. So him and I are in conversation last night, and like looking at each other right in the eyes, like, "Oh, excuse me, 1 second." He just won $1,000 and just like politely said, "Oh, excuse me 1 second," and like walked like a gentleman up to the stage to. He did donate it back because he's a Tills. They're good humans. It's like, Fizz, you just won $1,000 and you did like.
Didn't even get excited about
No,
it.
if that was me,
That's
if,
because he's already won $10,000 before, so $1,000 isn't that
when did he
great.
win $10,000?
The Heritage Days.
Really?
His dad did, I thought.
No, Fizzle did.
Fizz won $10,000.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
he didn't take the car, which makes sense. He took the money.
Well,
That's funny.
I was very impressed because I would not be. No.
You'd have been losing your
Everyone would
mind.
know I had just won $1,000. See you later, Fizz. In your face. I just won $1,000. He's just so. Oh, excuse me. 1 second. Just like politely walks up. It was wild.
That's awesome.
He gets back. He's like, Fizz, you just won $1,000. Oh,
Yeah. Where were we at in the conversation?
Yeah. It's funny. So, can you relate to that? No. If I win, you're going to know.
Well, on that note.
On that note, for real this
Final.
The final. Oh boy. All right. Well, we're losing things today. Okay. Well, we, as always, are praying for you.
and rooting for you.
God bless you all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.